I'm sure most of you probably remember this here. My anti-sleeper build that right now is housing my Pentium D rig in it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to transfer it from this case into this one, which I think is a little bit more period correct. So, because I have plans for this case, even though this one doesn't really fit the aesthetic I want for the other project either. I think it fits probably a little bit more than this one does. So I'm going to remove the card reader. I don't need that. And then basically everything from this is going to go in here, and I'm going to add a second optical drive. Even though my original machine never had it, I don't have a slot cover for that, so I might as well fill it up with something. Okay, I've pulled out the power supply and unplugged pretty much all the cabling from this. So next step, of course, is to remove the hard drive, the floppy drive, and the optical drive. Both of those should be fairly easy. It looks like there's just the one screw for the floppy drive, and the other two are toolless, so that's good. I've also got to pull out these cards, so that'll have to happen. And then I got to pull the front panel stuff, and then this board can come out. Okay, done some work on the new case. I removed the two little things here. This would have been for a baffle or an air guide for the CPU that it doesn't have anymore, so those are of basically no use to anybody, so they could just go straight into the garbage. And I removed the card reader, so that's gone. I've also cleaned it up. Just a little rudimentary dusting, really. I haven't gone hog heaven with the air compressor or anything else. So, what I am going to have to do, however, is I'm going to have to get some screws so that I can go ahead and install the motherboard in this case, because I'd like those other screws that are in the other case to stay there. So, I'll have to get, I think I need 6 screws. I might as well get 7 screws. And that should pretty much be it. I may get another screw just for the video card, just because I know that the lock on the motherboard is broken. So, okay. So there's the board installed with all the cables. So the next step is going to be to install the drives. Get those cabled up with this, and then it's going to be time to junk this up with a power supply. Okay, we're all installed, including the hard drive, which was a rather tight fit with that cable. Something tells me that this connector is going to be loose, because I've had plenty of problems with that thing over the years. But I'd like to put another RAM stick in here, but this motherboard, that second RAM slot's faulty. I tend to have issues with it when I try to use it. So I have the drives jumpered properly. I don't use cable select because I don't trust it. Sometimes it tends not to work, and I've had boards where it didn't work. So, and it would just lock up when it was detecting drives. So I always tend to use master and slave. You do it at the drive end, the cable doesn't need to matter. So, and then there are some that do it their own way. Like the master is the first drive on the cable. First drive, I mean being this one, even though it's labeled as slave. I've had that happen before, a time or two as well, and it bugs me. It shouldn't, but it does. So I'll go ahead and I'll get this thing over, and we'll get ready to test it. Okay, it's hooked up now. Camera's about to die, so hopefully it doesn't die while I'm in the middle of this. Okay, well, it sounds like there's a bad fan in it somewhere. Yep. The rear case fan is bad. So I guess I'll be replacing that. And, additionally, I've got a definite power problem with this card back here. to work now. Yeah, there we go. CMOS setting's wrong. That's nice of it. Of course, it's single channel. I might have to upgrade that. Yeah. Well, both of the drives show up. I don't know if they both work. No, that one doesn't. Oh, there it goes. So it kind of works, but, yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna have to replace that fan, though. That fan is junk. Yeah, that's really annoying. Normally I don't advocate doing this, but I'm just gonna pull that right out while I'm busy dealing with this. So, obviously the battery's dead, so it's gonna need a new CMOS battery at some point. I may set it up and see what it does, but it's probably not gonna keep these settings, so. Alright, I'm gonna actually just let it go into Windows here. Of course, it's running Windows Vista, because that's what it was running back in the day. So, I can probably oil that fan, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. That's just a 92mm fan. Those grow on trees pretty much, so. You notice something wrong here? I'm not sure how they managed to do that. Probably because I read the motherboard indicator wrong, but the the power LED is acting as the hard drive LED, and the hard drive LED is the power, so I'll have to switch that around. Probably do that and change the fan at the same time. I wanted to point out that it's not very often that you see the hard drive get the best Windows Experience Index score out of the entire system. That's actually kind of sad, to be honest. Okay, you can see there I've gone ahead and changed the LED back, so now they're in the right places. I've also changed the cooling fan, so that's working. So, I would call that a success. Everything seems to be functioning the way that it needs to. I mean, it's obviously Windows Vista, so functioning might not necessarily be the right word for it, but I gotta be honest, this system here, this particular platform, actually runs Vista fairly well. I think it's the only system that I've ever owned that didn't run like a pile of dog crap under Windows Vista, so. I guess there are computers out there that it runs on, but there aren't very many. So, of course, pretty much everything that they had for the gadgets are gone. I don't even think you can go to get more. Now, obviously, this isn't on the network, so I can't really do much with it, but I think this thing's just been, really, Windows Vista's just been thoroughly left in the dust. So, that's pretty much it for that, before it turns into Vista nostalgia. Not that anybody's got nostalgia for Vista. I didn't like it when it came out. I didn't like Windows 7 when it came out either, but, you know, in the face of everything else, it just seems like Microsoft has been content to put out one bad product after the other that makes you wish that you were still using the previous one. Not that I can say using Windows 7 ever made me want to go back to Windows Vista. It certainly made me want to go back to XP, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Changed the system, changed the case. It was a success. Everything works. I didn't break anything while doing so, which is actually probably amazing. But, that's pretty much all she wrote for that. So, thank you for watching, and if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below.